Let's switch our focus to an outgoing at Arsenal, and that's Eddie Nketiah. Now, you told us last night this was deal agreed with Crystal Palace. How long before he is officially a Palace player then, Michael?
Not long at all. Medical tests went on today. We hear there are no issues. So it is very close for Eddie Nketiah ending his long stay at Arsenal and having a new challenge, which maybe he will embrace, he will look forward to, leaving on great terms, similar to what we saw with Emil Smith-Rowe. And I've got to say, Arsenal are doing some very, very good business. They're recouping a lot of money as well with the sale of Smith-Rowe and soon to be Nketiah, around 25 million, rising to 30 million. Palace get another forward. Oliver Glasner's wanted as well. There was tentative inquiries about Wilf Zaha, weren't there, a few weeks ago, and it was quite romantic being the word, I don't know, but it was something like, oh, this is quite
sentimental.
Yeah, sentimental, that's the better one, isn't it? But I think in terms of, there was a few tax issues in terms, and it was too difficult to do. But yeah, Nketiah close to Crystal Palace.
Yeah, there's been many years in the making, this one, because this is not the first time we've spoken about Nketiah to Palace. I was looking through my notes before, searching Nketiah, what we've been reporting on him in the past few days, and all of my historic emails came up, and 2021 there was interest.
Text between me and you.
Yeah, Crystal Palace, I've deleted them.
But that in itself is a romantic story, you know. Palace finally getting their man. OK, you know, potential Arsenal outgoing with Eddie Nketiah. And another one, let's talk keepers, Darmesh with Aaron Ramsdale. Southampton, how's that one looking?
I mean, I'm pretty surprised he hasn't moved yet, actually, because we knew that this was going to be the summer that Ramsdale was probably going to make a move to really maintain his place in the England squad, if anything else. Now, at the start of the window, Ajax were interested, but they were only offering a loan. Wolves were interested, but they couldn't agree a deal. Southampton, even before that, were interested, but they couldn't agree on an obligation fee. Now, Southampton since switched their targets to the Feyenoord keeper, Justin Biljak, but they couldn't get a deal done for him because there was an issue with the medical. And so they now seem to have gone back to the Ramsdale situation. They're still exploring this deal. There is still, we think, a gap in valuation on what the obligation fee would be. And we think the obligation would come into play if Southampton did stay in the Premier League, because they want to do an initial loan with an obligation fee. So there'll be lots of talks going on between the two clubs around the kind of deal that can be done here. Because if it is going to be an obligation, and the big factor is whether Southampton will stay up, you would think then, rather like we were talking about with Raheem Sterling and potential loan fees and all of that kind of thing, there could possibly be a bigger loan fee that Arsenal would demand just in case Southampton didn't stay in the Premier League. Now, if Aaron Ramsdale was to leave Arsenal in this transfer window, they have been doing due diligence and working on potential replacements. Juan Garcia from Espanyol is one we have been talking about, and I think they'd be ready to really accelerate on that deal if Ramsdale was to go.
All right, Mesh, we know that Napoli are under a bit of a degree of pressure to try and move on Victor Osimhen. Chelsea, where are they at in terms of this whole situation right now?
Well, Chelsea remain in talks, and Al Ahly, the Saudi Arabian club, remain in talks as well. And Al Ahly are understood to be feeling more hopeful of being able to do a deal for the Napoli striker Victor Osimhen. They've bid around 70 million euros for Victor Osimhen, and talks are continuing to convince Osimhen to come to Saudi Arabia. Now, according to Sky in Italy, there are officials from Al Ahly who are in Italy at the moment speaking to Osimhen and his representatives, trying to convince him that Saudi Arabia would be a good destination for him, Al Ahly would be a good destination for him. And what the carrot is for Victor Osimhen would be a 4-year deal worth 30 million euros a year. 30 million euros a year, but they would also want included in that contract an exit clause, so that if a club were to come in for him, because he still believes, as his agent had said yesterday on social media, that he still has plenty to offer one of European football's top 5 European leagues. Now, I mentioned the reason that Al Ahly might be getting a little bit more hopeful. That's because other interested clubs, including Chelsea, are finding it increasingly difficult to find a resolution for Victor Osimhen. And the big reason for that is twofold: the transfer fee, but also probably more significantly, the wages that Victor Osimhen is on. They simply can't go to those kind of wages. And we think as it stands, Victor Osimhen doesn't want to take a cut in his wages, which is going to be a problem for Chelsea. So while that's happening in the background, Chelsea are obviously going to look at alternative targets. We were told yesterday that Ivan Toney is a potential target for them for the remainder of this transfer window. And Ivan Toney will be keeping an eye on Osimhen's situation as well, because Al Ahly were in talks with Brentford over signing Ivan Toney. So if they were to get Osimhen, then that would probably leave Ivan Toney needing to find a move to a European or a Premier League club. So plenty still to happen in these final 2 days. The one bit of leeway that these clubs have got in Saudi Arabia is that their window closes slightly later.
Yeah.
The Saudi Pro League window shuts on Monday.
I would say as well, over the last couple of years, I don't know if you agree with this, the day before deadline day is busy like never before. You'd start to get murmurings before the actual deadline day itself.
Yeah, tomorrow is going to be busy, I think.
Yeah, and I think what I found fascinating is that this has ramped up, and just in the last few days, the last week or so, the gear that we've found with this transfer window is just really ramped up, and stage is set, isn't it, for Thursday and Friday itself, deadline day. It's absolutely appointment to watch TV right here on Sky Sports.
Arsenal have agreed a £25 million deal to sell goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale to fellow Premier League club Southampton. The Gunners have long wanted to get rid of Ramsdale, who lost his spot in the Arsenal 11 to David Raya, and it looks like he could now be heading for the exit. The Saints have agreed to pay $18 million with up to $7 million in add-ons, and it's now looking positive the deal will get done, Sky Sports reported on Wednesday. Arsenal are already working on signing a replacement and have been linked with Wigan Athletic star Sam Tickle, while transfer expert Fabrizio Romano believes the North Londoners will launch a move for Espanyol's Joan Garcia. I would be missing playing football if I was Aaron Ramsdale. Former Arsenal star Emmanuel Petit told Safest Casino sites. I would miss the adrenaline, the excitement of a match day when you wake up. Aaron Ramsdale needs to leave. He needs to play. Football is not all about money, and you need to go enjoy the sport. He must be very unhappy. I hope he gets back on the pitch somewhere else. Legendary Arsenal goalkeeper David Seaman has also begrudgingly told Ramsdale to leave the club in the pursuit of regular football. He told the Daily Star, I've always said Aaron is too good to be a number 2. He's a fantastic player. He needs to play. Wherever that is, I don't know. It's a weird situation. Ideally, you'd love him to stay because that would be great for the club. But he needs to move for his career. And that includes England because if he's not playing, he'll keep dropping down the pecking order with them. Arsenal splashed out $24 million to sign Ramsdale from Sheffield United in 2021, and he's made 89 appearances for the Gunners to date. Capped 5 times by England, Ramsdale has also previously played for Bournemouth in the top flight. The 26-year-old was crowned Supporters Player of the Year during his 3-year stint with the Cherries. Arsenal still targeting new forward in late window swoop. Following Eddie Nketiah's $30 million move to Crystal Palace, which has been reported by an array of reliable media sources, including Romano and David Ornstein, it is believed that the Gunners are scouring the market for a new forward. Arsenal have just completed the signing of midfielder Mikel Merino in a $32 million deal from Real Sociedad, following weeks of talks to get it over the line, but sporting director Edu Gasper and the recruitment team may not be done with the Spain international. Mikel Arteta has seriously strengthened his left side with the addition of Merino, who provides big game experience, tenacity, and a towering 6'2" presence in the manager's ranks. And Arteta has already expressed his delight at the 28-year-old's arrival. After Merino and the deal for Nketiah to join Palace, next on the agenda for Arsenal could be a brand new attacker. Edu has also been looking at backup alternatives to Bukayo Saka this summer, according to various reports, and it is something that they're apparently still pursuing. They have been linked with an interesting option very recently, Bayern Munich winger Kingsley Coman. According to reliable journalist Ben Jacobs of Give Me Sport, Arsenal and Spurs chiefs have discussed signing Coman in a late window move, with Romano providing an update on the Bayern winger's future. Coman could make surprise late Bayern exit amid Arsenal interest. Kingsley Coman has several possibilities also in England. So he is going to be one to watch for the final days because there is still an expectation for Coman to leave Bayern. There could be a surprise with Coman. There are suggestions that the Frenchman could cost up to $42 million to prize away from the Allianz Arena, but it is unclear just how much Arsenal would be willing to pay if they decide to make a move. Arsenal to launch Joan Garcia, move after Southampton, agree Aaron Ramsdale deal. Spain under 21 international is the Gunners' preferred target to now back up compatriot David Raya. Arsenal are set to launch an imminent late transfer swoop for Joan Garcia after agreeing the sale of Aaron Ramsdale to Southampton. Espanyol's highly rated Spain under 21 international had been established as the Gunners' firm number one option to reinforce their goalkeeping department in the event of an exit for Ramsdale before Friday night's summer transfer deadline. Arsenal will now move for Garcia swiftly after striking a deal with Southampton for Ramsdale on Wednesday night that will see the newly promoted Saints pay an initial $18 million up front, with a further $1 million dependent on their Premier League survival this term. Additional add-ons could see the deal eventually worth around $25 million. Arsenal also want a new homegrown option as their number 3 goalkeeper behind first-choice David Raya, who completed a permanent $27 million switch from London rivals Brentford earlier this summer, following a successful season-long loan spell at the Emirates Stadium, and potentially Garcia. With Karl Hein joining Spanish side Rayo Vallecano on loan earlier this month, and Arthur Okonkwo signing for Wrexham, following the expiration of his contract. The Gunners previously saw a bid rejected by Wolves for Dan Bentley, while reports suggest they are now interested in a deal for Wigan's Sam Tickle. Southampton turned their attentions to Ramsdale after seeing a move for Feyenoord's Dutch goalkeeper Justin Bijlow collapse earlier this week following rumored issues with his medical. The 26-year-old had also attracted interest from the likes of Ajax, Bournemouth, and Wolves after returning from Euro 2024 with England, having previously served as Arsenal's first-choice goalkeeper after joining from Sheffield United in 2021, but later demoted to a backup role by manager Mikel Arteta following the arrival of Raya. Ramsdale will hope to make his Southampton debut this weekend, if the move goes through in time. Arsenal are eyeing up a late move for a new winger before the summer transfer window closes on Friday, but they will only sign him on one condition. The Gunners have a number of top-class wingers in their ranks, including Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, and Leandro Trossard, but they're keen for a new option. Arsenal confirmed on Wednesday night that Fabio Vieira has joined Porto on a season-long loan, but it is thought that they still need to free up more room. That's according to The Telegraph, who report Arsenal are in the market for a winger before the window closes, but that it will depend on further outgoings. They claim that Reiss Nelson has been put up for sale, which may allow Arsenal to